I'm not always confident, but some people have told me that whenever I speak, I always sound confident. But the truth is, that's not really the thing. And it's not humble bragging, I'm just trying to make a point. Because I think that confidence is something that you build through time. And if you do build that confidence, you will have a better advantage in so many aspects of your life. In this video, I'm going to share with you tips on how to be confident when speaking, especially in the context of working in a call center. So if you feel that you need to up your confidence or to boost your confidence level, then definitely tune in to this video. My channel. My name is Rhea and you're watching Call Center Ninja once again, sharing with you real stories and tips to enjoy and survive your call center lifestyle. And this is the third episode of EOP Please. Today we're going to talk about how to be confident when speaking. And I have 7 tips, actionable and practical tips for you. So are you ready? By the way, if you're new here, please consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button on YouTube down below. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I will also link my YouTube channel as well. So, on to the tips. My first tip is to know your job or your role very well. And when I say know your job, you have to understand what your role really entails. Are you a customer service representative? Are you a tech support analyst, financial advisor? Are you a travel advisor? So it really depends on what your role is. If you notice, when you are put to a situation where you don't exactly know what you're going to do, what you are and what you're going to do in that situation, you won't know how to react or you won't know how to act. So when you start working, you have to ask and you have to be clear, what is my job description? What is my role in this account or in this company? For example, if you are a customer service specialist, your job is to mainly help resolve customers' concerns and issues. So act that way. And you will be more confident because you know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. Right? Tip number 2 is PSP. Prepare, study, and practice. Do you think that those motivational speakers that you always watch on YouTube or on stage don't prepare? If you think that they all have it figured out, they all have it put together, well, you're right. But that is because they always prepare, they always study their material, and they always practice. That's the same with taking calls in a call center. When you're in training, you have to study your lessons. You have to study the topics that are being taught to you or are being discussed in the classroom, because that is the only way that you become a subject matter expert. When you know what you are talking about, you are for sure going to be confident compared to if you don't know what you're going to talk about, right? So when I say prepare ahead of time. Make it an effort to go to work 30 minutes earlier or even 1 hour earlier if that's possible. Just to prepare your tools, study ahead of time, review updates, review whatever your topics or your lessons are from the previous week or previous days. And that effort will surely make you more confident and prepared to do your job. Tip number 3 is to be self-aware. When you say self-aware, that means that you know how to react in certain situations or how to respond in certain situations. That, for example, in customer service, you will get irate callers, you will receive callers who will cry, who will vent out their emotions or who will tell your stories to you and everything else. So if you don't know how to react or respond to these situations, you will be surprised and you will be taken aback. Like, if you confidently delivered your opening speech, like, thank you for calling ABC Company, my name is Rhea, how can I help you today? And then if the customer suddenly shouts or yells at you, you back down and your voice just trails off. And that shows that you're not confident in handling that call. You're not confident in helping the customer with a concern just because they can see it through your voice. You have to make that game face on. This is what I'm going to do if the customer comes in angry or comes in irate. I will stay calm, I will stay collected, I will empathize, and I will make sure that I don't match the anger of the customer. So when you already know how to help or how to react in a certain situation, you'll become more confident because you already have that action ahead. You're prepared on what's to come. If your customer is emotional, then you already know, okay, usually if the customer is emotional, I usually also become very emotional, which is not a good thing to do. So this is, from now on, this is what I'm going to do if the customer is emotional. I have to stand my ground and I have to empathize, but I'm not going to cry and be carried away by all the emotions. So there, you have to be self-aware. Tip number 4, acknowledge that you don't know everything. Because the moment you start talking about something that you know nothing about and you act like you actually know it, then it will definitely show that you are not confident about what you're talking about. Of course, for you to be confident about something, you have to know exactly what you're talking about, right? Like in my case, I might be confident most of the time, but that is because I always prepare for what I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk about something I'm not credible. I'm not a credible source of. I'm not going to talk about something that I don't know about and pretend that I actually know it, because it will just lose your confidence in the process. To be confident, you have to learn to acknowledge that it's okay. I don't know everything, and it's okay to say that no, I don't know everything. When speaking with customers, instead of saying I don't know, Mr. Customer, most of the time I will just say, that's a very good question, sir. That's a very good question, Mr. Customer. Let me go ahead and take a look at that for you. Just give me 1 to 2 minutes because I want to make sure I give you accurate and correct information. Right? Sometimes it just depends on the choice of words that you make, and that will make you be more confident about yourself because you know that you are doing your best to look for the right information for your customer. Tip number 5 is to not overthink. So don't overthink. Sometimes when you just think ahead of yourself, you lose your confidence because there are so many things in your head when you're supposed to think only of what is your role or what your job is. For example, if you make mistakes, you lose your confidence in the process. It is definitely okay to make mistakes, and if you do, just redeem yourself, apologize if you need to, and there's no need to be ashamed of yourself because everybody make mistakes. The most important thing about that is you acknowledge that you made mistakes, you apologized for it, and you redeem yourself after. Which leads us to our next tip, tip number 6, which is to eliminate distractions. So what are some examples of distractions? You have so many things. You have the thoughts in your head, you have the worries that you have, the stresses that you have, and everything. So when you speak or when you assist your customers over the phone, do your best to eliminate distractions. Don't be too preoccupied of making mistakes. Don't be scared of making mistakes because you can always correct them. For example, when you think of your grammar, your pronunciation, that's very common. Some people are too conscious because they might make mistakes with their grammar or pronunciation. I mean, I don't have perfect grammar. I don't have perfect pronunciation. If I have a pronunciation mistake or grammar, then go ahead and tell me, and I will be willing to correct myself. Which is something that will lead you to be more confident because you know for yourself that you are willing to correct whatever mistakes you've made. And also, when you eliminate distractions, when you're speaking or when you are helping your customers, you are also focusing on the task at hand, which is the most important thing. Okay. So again, eliminate distractions. And the last but not the least, tip number 7 is to believe in yourself. Yes, because if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will. In this kind of industry where you make friends, you make frenemies maybe, or you make enemies maybe, you only have yourself to depend on. If you don't have faith in yourself, then nobody else will believe in you. So you have to, or maybe somebody else will believe in you, but that's not enough. You have to start believing in yourself. You have to start to think and claim that, yes, I will be confident in doing this task. I will be confident in speaking the language, or whatever thing that you're going to do. And if you start doing that, you also start engaging yourself into a positive conversation. You will become more optimistic, and you are on your way to becoming more confident. And that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click the red subscribe button on YouTube down below. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I will also link my YouTube channel as well. If you have any comments or topic suggestions, then please don't hesitate to comment them down, and I will definitely consider those. Thank you so much again, and see you next Friday.